distinguished panel here, Chaubeji, Dr. Amarendraji, Dr. Mr. Marwa, and the host and the very distinguished Dr. Praname Bhagwati ji. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. While introducing me, she said I'm coming from MSME. For me, this is a very mixed, I don't know which role to take. So I'll tell you, I'm really overwhelmed by the eminence sitting on both sides. Not because, more because in the capacity of a creative person, I have been for long only an audience. And then last year, after a gap of 40 years, I started learning Kathak again. So, I'm presently, I did a small 6 months. So that's how I had met Dr. Bhagwati. I went to her when she was director Kathak Kendra, and I said, do you have something for people like me who barely managed to find a weekend free and still want to do something and have lost all the energy and everything that is usually associated with dancers? And it's been 40 years. I last danced in 1984, and that was with a very eminent person, Dr. Purudadich. I recently met him when he was here in Delhi for a show, and then I have not done anything since then. Fortunately, I had not forgotten anything. Many things I still remember from my, 1984. That was for 2 years only that I could learn that. And she said, "नहीं, अभी तो हम कुछ ऐसा नहीं करते. We are more for regular, more serious students. So अभी हम सोचेंगे." Then I found some course in Triveni, and I joined the classes of Mr. Sanjeet Gangani, who is now my official guru. So I've continued with him for some time, and that's where I'm trying to regain what I had learned all those years ago. So here I'm probably the junior most of the creative persons. So that makes me really curious and really, happy that I'm here standing before you. But in my other avatar, as she said, I come from a place where we talk about entrepreneurs in the sector of MSME and the way creative entrepreneurs would like to, create a place for them in the economic development journey of India. Because when we talk about art, particularly Indian art of any form, we have a very rich heritage to preserve. When we talk about intellectual property, when we talk about heritage which needs to be preserved, how do we do that? And that's where you need to mainstream it. In the earlier times, you used to say, there was patronage, there was a way of, preserving and protecting and encouraging art, which we lost in the course of time. So we have to find new forms of protecting and preserving and encouraging arts. A lot of it has been done in the last decades. But again, now we are again unshackling ourselves from the typical government patronage to a more, self-driven, collaborative from the entire society. The movement has to come from that, and that's where probably MSME becomes a very important, perspective. I would not say a place, because when we talk about MSME today, barring few things, say agriculture or few professions, which everybody who is doing an economic activity can be an entrepreneur. That is the broadest definition of an enterprise you can have. Anybody with, whether he's doing a service, whether he's into manufacturing, whether into any economic activity which can be considered as entrepreneurial, can be. The product can be tangible, non-tangible, service, everything. So so in that sense, everybody is eligible to be an enterprise. And then when we talk about, again, in India, in MSME, the ministry started a portal called Udyam Registration Portal in 2020. And we defined a broad definition of MSME. With that, we started an online registration for the entire set of what we call industrial classification. And you would be wondering, happy to note, I was getting this data. At the moment, I'm the one who is in charge of this Udyam portal and the formalization of MSME, so I could get the access to data. So when we talk about NIC, what we call very, very dry thing, but National Industrial Classification. So Division 90 is about the creative art and entertainment activities, and within that, that, you have 5-digit codes for every such creative activity assigned. So in this, you have stage productions, you have operations of concerts, theatre halls, you have activities of sculptors, painters, cartoonists, you have activities of individual writers, technical writings, independent journalists, everything, every type of creative art. And then whatever we could not define is obviously defined into others. And we also have a similar classification available at the individual level when we talk about national classification of occupation. So these two things become very important when we talk about classifying creative person as an entrepreneur, because she very rightly said that you cannot have art on the sidelines, on the side rack, and say that we will preserve it. So everything which needs to be preserved has to be mainstreamed. I always say a language or an art, anything and everything will survive the test of time only if it is mainstreamed into our lives. आप केवल भाषा बोलने के लिए बोल के उसको जिंदा नहीं रख सकते जब तक आप उस भाषा में इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं कर सकते, जब तक आप उस भाषा में साइंस नहीं कर सकते, वो भाषा नहीं जिंदा रहेगी. सिमिलरली उस आर्ट में अगर आपके आज का रिफ्लेक्शन होगा और वो आज की तरह से उसे गवर्न किया जाएगा उसे, तो शायद वो ज़्यादा ताकत के साथ प्रिजर्व्ड रहेगा. तो आपको मैं जान के मैंने जब चूँकि डेटा निकलवाया इन सब में, तो यू वुड नॉट बिलीव मेरे पास ऑलरेडी 1,25,961, दिस इज़ एग्जैक्टली द नंबर दैट आई गॉट ऑन उद्यम रजिस्ट्रेशन, हु आर एक्चुअली रजिस्टर्ड इन दिस national industrial classification. Now we register every form of enterprise. You can be a proprietor, you can be a partnership, you can be a trust, you can be a SHG, you can be a cooperative, you can be a LLP, you can be a company, you can be any form of enterprise, and you can be an MSME. We do not. So I just thought that I'll bring it out so that any of you who might be thinking about creating a economic unit of your activities would be able to think about on those lines, and we would be happy to help if we can give you more clarity if anybody of you need that. I hope some of you are already associated with people who are on the Udyam portal or similar such. So I have one MSME connection also, not just the art connection. So I thought I'll do that, and this becomes very essential. Similarly, we recently actually started 2 years ago. We started something called PM Vishwakarma scheme. PM Vishwakarma scheme is not related to the performing arts, but it is about and it is not essentially about promoting the art at the higher level, but it is about the 18 traditional heritage craftsmanship of India, artisans. We include 18 different trades into that. It includes trades like washerman and barber also, but if you look at the village economy of a closed village economy, so everybody who was essential to run that closed village economy, it was a sculptor, it was a mason, it was a potter, it was a barber, it was a garland maker, it was a washerman. So also it was a boat maker, it was a fishnet maker, it was a basket weaver. All such 18 trades have been covered under PM Vishwakarma, where and the motto, the logo said from entrepreneur to enterprise. These have been the original entrepreneurs of Indian economy who have survived throughout the history of India, and now we are saying that we will bring them on board as an entrepreneur and an enterprise in the modern sense of the word. So what we have done, we have given them a recognition through registration, we have given them basic training, we have provided them modern toolkits. So a washerman, you typically see them कि वो धोबी घाट पे खड़े होके आज हम जब वॉशरमैन को देखते हैं और जो वॉशरमैन PM विश्वकर्मा में रजिस्टर होता है उसे हम वॉशिंग मशीन देते हैं. सो गांव में खड़ा होने वाला वॉशरमैन भी, या जैसे अभी रिसेंटली मैं एक हिमाचल के स्टोन कटर से मिली. So now he is not an artist, he is a simple stone cutter जो पहाड़ों में पत्थर लगाता है मकान बनाने के लिए. तो पहले वो हथौड़ी से ठोक ठोक के पहाड़ का पत्थर तोड़ता था, तो वो बेतरतीब टूटता था, सही कई बार गलत टूटता था, कई बार टेढ़ा टूटता था. अभी with our toolkit he has got a electric cutter. So he is cutting it properly with the proper desired shape, and उसके बाद उसे वो चिकना भी कर पाता है. So as a result, उसका value addition 15 रुपए से 45 रुपए पर पीस हुआ है. So we are actually seeing a increase of, on an average, 40% increase in income of individual विश्वकर्मा artisans. So you have a potter. मैंने potters देखे हैं जो आजमगढ़ से आते हैं, जो black pottery बनाते हैं. They have started making new things. Now they are, once they graduate as Vishwakarmas, they are encouraged to become part of Udyam registration so that they become an MSME. The moment you become MSME, there are many things that you are entitled to. You get a collateral-free loan where you have a guarantee up to 75% of collateral-free loan of 10 crore rupees, not less than that. And then you have, if you are a woman entrepreneur, the guarantee extends as much as 90%. If you are again a northeastern, or if you are a smaller, very small enterprise, that also there are other benefits. You are entitled for priority sector lending. You are entitled for other schemes where MSMEs are. So, I mean, wherever there is a possibility as an MSME, so you may be an artist, but you have a product. So that product can grow and multiply, can have economic manifestations through such a recognition, not just as an artist but as an entrepreneur, as you rightly said, creative entrepreneur. So I thought I'll put that. Recently, my brother, who has been a corporate, another one. So I come from from the Ministry of MSME and a family full of MSME entrepreneurs. So another of my brother, he recently quit his very high-profile corporate job and started his own sports company. The sports company trains Olympians, and they have trained many state champions and all. And they hope that sports becomes a way of life. As she rightly said, that you can't have a side subject and filler subject and expect India to have a change in way of life. When I was in Labasna doing my foundation course, we were made to, at that time it used to feel like that, we were made to see dances, we were made to attend critical, liberal arts panel discussions, and then write summary of that as a part of our learning of Indian culture and heritage, because as a civil servant we were expected to understand those nuances of Indian society. But that has ingrained in us a sense of the larger perspective of art, besides only going to a concert or seeing it as ki haan abhi dekh liya ho gaya. We probably I will give that to my training as a civil servant, but and then looking at my brother's work, I realized that he has developed an entire curriculum of sports where you start as a motor activity for a small kid. एंड यू डोंट स्टार्ट पहले दिन की हमारे बच्चे को जिम्नास्टिक्स आता है और पहले ही दिन उससे जिम्नास्टिक्स करवाने लगे, इन द प्रोसेस ब्रेकिंग हिज मसल्स. यू स्टार्ट एज अ करिकुलम की, जैसे पहली क्लास में आप गिनती सिखाते हैं, फिर जोड़ बाकी सिखाते हैं, फिर गुणा सिखाते हैं, देन यू गो टू इक्वेशंस. नॉट दैट कि पहले दिन उसको जिम्नास्टिक्स करवा दिया. सिमिलरली डांस में भी शायद हम धीरे धीरे चीज़ें लोगों को सिखा सकते हैं. रिसेंटली मेरे बेटे को एक म्यूज़िकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट ख़रीदना था एंड आई वेंट टू अ शॉप एंड द फेलो सेड, अब तो मैडम केवल परीक्षा के दिन फ़ोटो खिंचवाने के लिए लोग म्यूज़िकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट लेते हैं, बाकी तो वो मोबाइल पे बजाते हैं. तो आई वॉज रियली सो दोज आर द थिंग्स विच आई थॉट कि अगर हम उसे ज़्यादा ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकेंगे तो अच्छा लगेगा. आई वुड बी वेरी हैप्पी इफ़ you need any help in that and understanding, creating that awareness. We have field offices not only in Delhi but across the country who can help you understand how to register with us, how to take advantage of the MSME schemes, and I would be very happy to be part of this process. Thank you very much for inviting me.